Hi, my name is Nunley-Romero, and today I will be showing you how to write in a computer science discourse. This video will go in depth into showing you how to be able to write articles in the computer science discourse. We will be going through topics of important things to have in your articles, and also show you how to be able to also read a computer science discourse a little bit easier. So the first thing we will be going through is the introduction. So the introduction is pretty much where we will tell you what we will be covering throughout the video. So first and foremost, we will be talking about visual aids. Visual aids are very important in when we are talking about very logical, heavy, dense discourses like the computer science one. Then we will talk about paper structures and how to structure your paper to be able to help your reader understand the sections that you are going through and better understand your material. And lastly, we will be talking about basic computer knowledge you should have or the reader should have to be able to fully understand the article or any computer science discourse article. So first of all, we will be discussing the visual aid part. Visual aid, as I said, is very important for readers because they will be reading very logic-dense papers, especially in computer science. We use images and visual aids to better help get our material and our theories across to the readers because it is so dense. So with visual aids, I feel like there has to be a rule, or else, we will be using tons and tons of images and our theories or words can get lost easily. So I'd say use charts and graphs and code as far as you need them in the paper, because if you use too many of them, then the point isn't getting to the reader. We use charts and graphs and codes to be able to better help the reader understand what we are talking about. Since the computer science discourse can get so logic heavy, we like to lighten the load by using some visual aids to better help the reader understand what we are talking about. And then next we will be talking about the structure of the paper. So now we're going to be talking about the structure of the paper. The structure of the paper is pretty simple and pretty straightforward with many discourses, but it's very important, especially for the computer science discourse. Since these papers are 20 to 30 pages long, it's very important that we section off our ideas, or else the reader might lose important information that they want to come back to. So it's important to use headings, and the three headings that will always be used is abstract, introduction, as well as conclusion. These three are always used because they will always be represented. Every paper will always need an abstract, and every paper will always need an introduction as well as a conclusion. But other than these, there are other headings that can be used. But make sure that you're using headings that have names that are full of detail, that tells the readers what they are about to read. That way, if they want to come back later to be able to cite it for a paper they're writing or to be able to reference it, they can easily find it through your headings. Now we will be going to the next slide where we will be discussing the basic knowledge of computer science and how it can help you write a better paper or help a reader be able to read an article easier. So basic computer knowledge is very, very important when it comes to computer science discourse. The words and the jargon that are used are very, very specific to this discourse. That is because as computer science majors or even computer science professionals, we assume that our readers who are reading it know at least the basic knowledge of computers to be able to decipher our words and also be able to read our code. In many articles, we see the use of codes to be able to show the reader exactly what we are talking about. Have you ever tried to tell somebody how to bake a cake without showing them the step by step on how they did it? Well, that's kind of like the same thing with computer science. We write code that is very, very hard to describe in words. and it would be just much easier to just show them the code and point out sections that we are talking about. If the reader doesn't have this basic understanding, then it's going to be very hard for them to be able to decipher these codes and get the material that they need to out of it. Same goes for someone who's trying to write in the CS discourse. They need to know what codes and what theories they are talking about, or else the reader is going to get lost very fast. And now we are going to move on to the conclusion of the video. Lastly, we are going to be talking about the conclusion. So throughout the video, we discussed on how visual aids can help you get a point across without using heavy, dense words to kind of clog up the reader's brain. We also talked about how to properly structure your paper to be able to make it easier for the reader to find information later, or to be able to come back to information and cite it or reference it in a paper that they may be writing. Lastly, we talked about how basic computer knowledge can help you better help the reader understand what you are trying to get across or talk about. Especially if you're trying to write in the CS discourse, you need to know what you are talking about as far as computers goes, or as far as code and algorithms go, or else the reader's going to get very lost very fast. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was very helpful in a very introductory way to be able to write in the computer science discourse. And more videos will be coming out on how better to structure your papers, or better to add more visuals. So again, thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.